to a new video for this month. Bookish video. Technically right now it's October 26th, but you're gonna see the whole month, and then I usually end this video once again like around November something, like 20, so I can have it ready for you guys to watch. If you guys watched the other video and you liked it, because this one's gonna be a little bit different, I'm gonna try to shorten it so it's not as long. I'm gonna try to make this maybe like 25 minutes. Let me know if you like this type of video or if you like the very long video. Today what we're gonna start with is organizing my bookshelves. Now this is gonna be like maybe an ongoing thing in the video, just because right now I was dusting my shelves, which I've never done, and ever since I moved my shelves I feel like I'm noticing like, oh wow, like they actually hold a lot of dust. So I cleaned them off right now, and I'm actually doing a TikTok video for that. But I've been looking at this bookshelf here and then the bookshelf over here, and part of me, when I first organized my shelves, which the video is already up, it's been there maybe since the beginning of the year. I had just moved my room, and these bookshelves I didn't really know how to organize, because if you guys have been with me for a while, you know that last year I turned around all the books I had read, and I only had one like bookshelf with all the books that I had yet to read in my TBR. And then when I moved my room around, I finally put the books how they're supposed to be, like facing towards you. But the only issue with that is that I didn't really like how this one ended up. I had to get rid of one of my book organizations. Also, I have, ever since I started buying books, I just been buying small organizations that would help fit my books, but my book collection has grown so much that I'm at a point where I'm just like, like there's times where I just want to buy like a new bookshelf, like even if it's tiny, and then add to it, but then it's just like I'm messing around and it's just like I just can't wait to have my own home with my own library, and I won't have this issue of a small room and trying to fit all my passions in here. So you're coming along with me. This video got really long already, but you're coming along with me to somewhat organize this. Okay, my room right now is looking a mess. This pile is literally rom-coms that I had in that cubicle, because if you remember, or if you're new, this whole shelf right here is books that are on my TBR, so I have not read. I tried putting in the shelves specifically the books I already have read. From this section I took off all of these, which these are rom-coms. So before, this was my TBR, this cubicle was my TBR, then by my door I have a bunch of books as well, and this is my TBR as well for next year. You guys, it's a lot later and I want to show you my TBR for the month of November. Now I'm a little like, which ones am I picking, because it's so many. So as you guys know, if you saw my last vlog, I posted this one that it was a book haul in the video, and I'm currently reading it, so this is gonna be one of the books. And then from this series I have the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. This is where my dilemma comes in, because I started this book I think in September, and I read book 1 and I really liked it because it's 3 books in one, and I have 2 more to go. I definitely at least want to get the second book done. I have these books that were on my TBR for the rest of the year that I for sure wanted to pick and read, and there's 2 series. One is specifically baseball, the other one is football. Yeah, technically we're in football season, but right now to read these now, it's baseball, and I do believe this follows the same couple, so I'm definitely going to be reading this in November, because I feel like the other series that is football makes sense for specifically December. Is this a lot of books? Absolutely. But I'm just gonna have to get through them, and if there's one that we don't, then it's fine. I also want to mention my book club. So we just decided we're gonna be reading The Boyfriend, which I just keep seeing in all these vlogs. I would have never personally picked this book because I read mainly romance. It has opened from just romance to all these other genres. It's just like I'm excited for this book because I would have never picked it up, but I keep hearing good things about it. So that is the TBR for this month. Okay, people, I'm reading the Santorini book club. What? I'm reading the Santorini bookshop, and I'm 150 pages in. Here's my thing. I want to finish this book tonight, literally be done with it, because while I've been enjoying it, it hasn't necessarily made me giddy. I feel like with any rom-com, this is why I originally hated rom-coms, because it's not that they were bad, but they're all like the same. There's nothing like really that makes me giddy over them. Like some that are like rom-coms that are specifically like comedy based do make me laugh, and I can see them being a movie, but usually there's nothing like big towards it, which is why I love reading dark romance and forbidden romance, because to me those always had something, like a little something to it. It was like there was an element added to it, which is why I really appreciated them. But since I've been in this journey walking with Jesus, I slow down my reading in dark romance and forbidden romance, and if I have read those tropes, usually I skip over the smut, which if you saw my last ultimate book video, you already know that I don't read smut. And this one doesn't have that, obviously. At least I haven't reached any scenes like that. So it's been good so far. But the reason why I want to finish it is because I think I've been reading this book already a whole week. And granted, I've been busy this week, so I haven't had a lot of time to read. But to me, like when I've been sitting with the book for a week, I'm just like, I need to get through this and finish it. So the goal is to literally finish this book today. I need to talk about this because it's so good. I'm only 34 pages, and I did start reading this in the morning. I have a video that was already posted by the time this whole book video is up, but in that video I am waking up at 6 in the morning, and it's my new routine that I'm trying to really lock down. And I started this around 8 in the morning, and I only read like 20 pages. Right now I obviously have read like 14 pages, but it's so good. It is exactly giving Stars Hollow. It's giving Gilmore Girls. If you've ever watched that show, it's this. And it's like I'm trying to keep up with like the owner of the bakery, the owner of the bookstore, the owner of everything. Like I'm just the mayor. They're having a town meeting at the beginning, and I'm just like eating it up. It's exactly like Gilmore Girls. And this year I decided not to watch it because I'm watching TVD, The Vampire Diaries, instead. But and it's funny because if you saw my last reading video that I posted for October, which is all about books, I literally said that I bought these books, and I was interested, one, because of the covers, but also because it's by Lori Gilmore, and that just reminded me of Lorelai Gilmore, and I was like, I need to buy them. And I bought them all, and now I'm excited because obviously I own the 3 books that are in the series right now, but it even has a map of the little town. And just knowing that this is going to be probably a whole big series, maybe like 6 books, I'm thinking, I'm loving it right now.
Her friend, or he helped Slug kill her friend. You know what I mean? But I'm like, dude, like the evidence is right there.
Okay, and can I just say, when he killed the mouse, oh wait.
Wait, what do you mean when he killed the mouse? There was a mouse?
The mouse, yeah. When she went to his apartment and he squashed the mouse.
I don't think I read that.
Okay, confession. I did. I went one chapter ahead.
No.
But I do not know. It's because it was so good.
You can't do that.
Book club problems.
No, you can't.
I know that probably looked just like out of nowhere, but we were discussing book club, which I'm reading my very first psychological thriller, and it was really good. It's The Boyfriend by Frida Mc something, and I really love it. I'm enjoying it, and that clip you just saw is me and my friend discussing it because it's that good. It's a new day, and today I really want to focus on my reading journal. Now, if you guys have been following me specifically for books, you know I created a reading journal. I want to say it's almost been 2 years where I haven't been reading books that I'm obsessed and in love with. I don't think I've had a 5-star read since last year. Like, if you were to ask me what book would you recommend from this year, I would literally be like, I don't have a book. I've read decent, okay, good books, but nothing crazy. When I first started reading 3 years ago, when I picked it back up, and I was literally having back-to-back 5 stars. So point is, I did create my reading journal, and another reason I was even hesitant to create one was because I just saw how much effort and like how they had to have like a beautiful notebook, and then I decided, let me just grab a regular notebook and I'll make it mine. So I have like all my 5-star books here. So this is what this reading journal is. It's not a reading journal of the year, it's my favorite books of all time. And I just have like the tropes, the series in here, and then as you start going, I split it in half, and I have pictures, I have prints of my favorite books, and then I have a little explanation of what I loved or what it's about. I want to finish this up because I have like maybe 6 pages to fill up. As you can see, I have the picture, but I don't have any explanation. And I want to do this because at the start of next year, I do want to pick it up, and I do want to just start every month filling it in with my favorite books, or in general like the good books I did read. I just want to like, you know, like take it back up, like be fully committed to it. Also want to pick book 2 of the series that I am reading, and I want to get majority of it done today, the 3rd book to finish from the series, and then I have 1 more book I want to get done. So in total there's 3 books I want to finish this week, and then I could do my wrap up with you guys for this video. So we're gonna do this. My Goodreads and seeing the books that I've liked and I remember, and it's funny because this is how you know that it's so different reading for me now, because back in the day I would remember the names of the couples, of the individual people, heroine and hero, and now I literally have to go into my Goodreads to see what their name is because I do not remember. Even right now I have added like 4 books that I've read recently that were good, decent, that I don't mind writing and taking my time to put in this notebook. But even then I was like, what's their name? And I just read that book like a week ago. And very last thing I have to say, I do not know, because there's this book, so there's certain books that I gave like 4 stars that were good, decent, but nothing extraordinary, and I don't even think I'm gonna add them in here. I think I'm only gonna add it if like I have a really good memory of reading it, like if I enjoyed myself. Not saying, for example, this book I'm looking at, it's not that I didn't enjoy myself, but it's just okay. I think there's like 4-star books that are okay, and there's 4-star books that I enjoyed a little bit more, if that makes sense. First thriller, you gotta remember that. I'm giving it 5 stars.
Really? What? No. Yeah, this is not. That's why I'm like, okay, it's still on the 4 side.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm giving it 5 stars, and I have not given a book 5 stars in so long. But you know I read mainly romance, and this just had me. I told you I dislike the characters, but it had me shut. Do my wrap up for you guys, and I ended up reading a decent amount of books. It always amazes me because ever since I started taking reading a lot more slower, at a slower pace, my month is filled with a lot of activities with all my new friends, and you know, being in women's group, my young adults group at church. So I'm constantly like doing stuff, but I'm still reading in between, but it's not like I used to. I'm not. Back in the day, I used to read a book a day, literally. Like I would finish a book in a day and immediately start a new one, and then the next day I would finish it. Like I had an addiction, and it wasn't a bad one necessarily because I loved romance, but this year I really slowed down. But then when I look and do these wrap-ups, I'm always like, wait a minute, I actually did read a lot. So we're gonna go through the books. I ended up reading Summer at the Santorini Bookshop. I ended up giving it 4 stars. This is a rom-com, but I actually saw this book when I was in Santorini, so I bought it. I think for that reason my rating was a little bit high, but I liked it. I think it was just like your typical rom-com. I kind of suspected the tiny twist in it, but I enjoyed it. At times it did feel like it was a little too long, so I would have preferred if it was a little bit shorter, but I think this was a good summer read. And it is Fake Dating by the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I gave this 4 stars, but you guys, this was so good. And it's all small town, so I was like, I think it's gonna give like Gilmore Girls, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint. It was so good. I had so much fun reading this. I think it's one of those books that it's slow paced, there's not a lot going on, but it's perfect for cozy weather. Rest the Synonym Bun Bookstore. This was, not gonna lie you guys, I gave this 3 stars. I was so excited for it because it gave like bad boy and good girl vibes. That is like technically one of the tropes, and she owns a bookstore, but I just found her a little bit boring. Like I didn't find Hazel to be anything extravagant, and also with Noah, I didn't care. At the end of the day, like I just didn't care enough for this book, so there's that. The next book I read was Swallow Your Pride by Sarah Blue. This is forbidden. It is her dad's or dead dad's best friend, but she never knew her dad, so it's after her dad passes and she gains a part of the company, and it goes from there. I actually really enjoyed it. I was looking at the comments and people gave it a lower rating because it said that they got together too fast and we saw too much of the coupling, if that makes sense. And I feel like when it comes to forbidden or any romance, I've said this before with why I had an issue with smut, and it was because I just felt like they used that and it immediately, like the whole book, it just feels about that, and I have been missing the romance part of books. Like I've been missing that interaction, just seeing them like actually being together. And I think that's why I really enjoyed it and I gave it 4 stars, because even though they got together really early on, I thought like we saw their dynamic and we actually saw more than just lust or any of those things. For being a forbidden book, I thought it was well done. Then I read The Perfect Game and The Game Changer by J. Sterling. As you guys know, I think this was in the books I planned on reading. The first book I gave 3.7 stars. It wasn't bad. It was baseball. He's a player and she's like a photographer. They're in college. He's about to get scouted, and it started off fine, but this book is older and you could tell based on the writing, and it just wasn't my favorite, but I didn't really care. He just messes up. So then book 2, even though I will say with book 1, it kind of gives you an epilogue of like just a happy end, you know, marriage, all that is in the future. But when you get to book 2, like the first, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't really fully read this book because I skimmed, I think, the first 40%, because it was just going back to the time they were separated, and it was like him writing letters to her. So we were reading that and I was like, I do not need to read this. Like when the epilogue, they were happy, you know. But then I did end up reading the final like other percentage of the book, and I gave it 3 stars. I am not gonna read book 3 in this trilogy. I'm not in love with either of the characters, and it just wasn't my favorite. Then, oh my gosh, this is technically a 5-star for me, but I put 4.7 because in reality this was The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, and this was my book club month pick, and it's my first psychological thriller. As you guys know, I read dark romance, but I feel like I could handle this because I read dark romance. Like we're talking very dark, or I used to, but sometimes I still dabble in it because it's something fun, it's interesting. And this surprised me. I did not expect the plot twist. It took me by surprise. I felt like it was fast-paced. I think for being my first psychological thriller, it was perfect. It worked out. So it's a 4.7, but when we got to the like big reveal, I was like 5 stars. I really have right here, I just finished this book, and this book, I'm giving it 4 stars. It started really good. I think it's been a while since I read a book like this where like you just feel the tension, you just feel like the connection, the chemistry, like they're drawn to each other. But of course it immediately jumps into that, and that was hard to read. Like I usually skip it, but it was hard, especially when a book really like the tension is so there, it's like you're drawn to it. But I personally don't read that anymore, and it's a hard struggle. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Walking with Jesus, like you have to give up things, and it's just personal conviction, so it doesn't happen for everyone. But there's times where you're drawn to it, and I was drawn to it, and I can't do it. But besides that, I like the couple. Like he has a lot of demons in his past, and I think that's why I like the book so much, because there's a dark element to it. And what I mean by that, I thought it was gonna be like my dad's best friend vibes, because in the back it says he works with her dad, so I thought it was gonna be something like that, like partners in the same business, and it's not. He's actually like working, being a carpenter or something like that, and she's a daughter, and it's forbidden for that reason because he works for her dad. But there's more hidden behind it, and what I mean by the dark element is like there's some twisted stuff that is in his past. Like he was an FBI recruiter for you know what, and I'm just like, tell me more. I really liked it, but it was, I guess if you're into spice and that's not something you're convicted or struggling with, then have at it. It looked, yeah. But this is my wrap up. I hope you guys like this month's bookish video. Let me know if you like this one, because I believe this one, my attempt was to make it a lot shorter than the other one. Let me know if you guys liked it, and until next time, because as you know, each month I act like I literally create a whole bookish video for you guys. So let me know what you like, what could be better, and I'll see you next month for the final month of the year, December, and my reading progress. So bye guys.